Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Learning.com Techquest. This is session 31, I believe, of your conference today. And if you would do me a favor and just type in the chat what grade you teach, it would be helpful to me as we go along through this session on Techquest. I would appreciate it. So, again, I'd like to tell you, welcome. This is Learning.com's Techquest session 31. And so we have a third grade. So thank you so much for telling me the grade levels that you teach. I'd appreciate it. My name is Sherry Broughton. I've been with Learning.com for about 11 years as a trainer. And I'm really excited today to present to you and share Techquest with you. Our agenda for the next hour is going to be pretty much what you see. We're going to be talking very little about Learning.com because there may be some of you that do not know what Learning.com is. We're going to talk specifically about Techquest today, and I'm going to demonstrate the student experience to you, and then we're going to get into the teacher experience where I will show you how you can monitor student work as they are progressing along their learning paths. That would be Techquest. We'll talk a little bit about how you can use Techquest for your class and the first day where you can, what you would do the first day. Then at the very end, I'll answer any questions that you might have. So I'm looking at the chat, and I want to really appreciate those of you who have told me what you teach. We have we have the third grade, we have computer lab manager, elementary librarian, another elementary librarian. Oh, lots of librarians. All right, great. That's a good job. And another special education unit. So if you would, I mean, that is helpful to me to know who is in my audience today. So I don't know how many of you know who Learning.com is, but we have we are a digital literacy, online digital literacy curriculum provider. Been in Texas for about 20 years, over 20 years actually, and we are in 76 counties in Texas, across Texas. That's about 30% of the counties. We are working with 12,000 teachers at 8,000 schools, and I can't even imagine how many students that are working in Learning.com's curriculum this year. We are specifically talking about Techquest, which is part of our curriculum offerings. And Techquest was actually, we created it back during those horrible years where teachers and students were working from home. We wanted students to have access to our curriculum without teachers having to know anything about it, without teachers having to assign lessons, have classes, or anything. And then it's progressed over these last 3 or 4 years to be a very viable option for districts who want to provide curriculum with very easily with a minimal effort on teachers' parts. Techquest is basically it's an auto sign. Every student that is in a district that has access to Learning.com, those students already have Techquest sequences in when they log into Learning.com. They are grade level sequences, so a 4th grade sequence is different from a 7th grade sequence, and that's certainly different from a 1st grade sequence. It is a comprehensive curriculum that covers everything from online safety to keyboarding to word processing. It's very online safety, especially internet usage. So it's very comprehensive. It is student-led. We call it our student-driven learning sequence. Everything is automatically assigned. Teachers do not have to do anything. The students already have access to a Techquest learning path for their grade level. It's auto-scored, so everything that the student finishes is automatically graded and sent to the teacher's Techquest gradebook. And all of this that I'm saying is going to save teachers a lot of time, and it's used across the state in a number of ways. It is our quick start option. Uh, the different the paths, the different Techquest learning sequences contain a lot of fun and engaging curriculum items from kindergarten on up. We have introductory videos, which they will simply watch and be given some information. We have instructional videos where they will watch the video for 3 or 4 minutes and answer 3 questions regarding what they saw, and they will get their results. We have keyboarding lessons as well as guided practices in keyboarding, and then we also have adaptive keyboarding on the 3rd grade through 8th grade paths. We have vocabulary items. We have many items, games that teachers or students are really going to enjoy engaging with, and we found it, and teachers have told us that these students do find this to be engaging and enjoyable. We accommodate all learners. Every student has the ability to use closed captionings on their lessons, where they can have English captions or Spanish captions, or they can have none at all. We also they can change their playback speed so that the audio is slowed down just enough to help those learners that have difficulty processing audio. Then they can either it helps them process it, or it's slow enough they can take notes if they need to, and it helps with their vocabulary comprehension and all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to demonstrate what Techquest is and how it looks to a 7th grader and a 4th grade student. This is a demonstration with everyone coming in and out. I don't have time right now in this limited time we have to get you to your next session on time to give you some student logins. But in the library, I'm going to show you a way that you can try out all of these lessons and see what is provided in these learning sequences for your teachers, for your students. All right, so I am logged in as this first login I'm going to show you. This is a 7th grade student, and like I said, these sequences are based on grade level. And middle school students, their background here is it's an arcade, a nighttime scene in an arcade with age-appropriate avatars. When the students first log in, they are given the option of picking an avatar and then clicking the Let's Play button, and they're going to earn stars and they're unlocked prizes. Those prizes are additional avatars to choose from. They start out with 3, and then after they've earned 12 stars, they will get another avatar. And when they earn another 12 stars, they will get an avatar. So eventually they're going to get about 10 or more avatars. So I'll go ahead and just click Let's Play. I'm going to choose Natalie at this point and select her, and you'll see the avatar. There's Natalie. And this is a typical Techquest path. This is a closed sequence, a forced sequence where students must complete an activity before they can go on to the next one. If they don't, they will not earn any stars, and they will need to complete it before they go on. Even the videos, they need to go ahead and watch the entire video before they go on. At some point in every learning sequence from 3rd grade on, you will see an adaptive keyboarding. It'll be someplace in the system, in the sequence, and that adaptive keyboarding can be revisited over and over, because adaptive keyboarding is not just a one-time activity. It is visited over and over throughout the year, and they can revisit it anytime by going to the arcade up here. And the arcade will take them to adaptive keyboarding. It's open from the very beginning, and they can click on it and proceed on with their adaptive keyboarding, which we had a session this morning that discussed the keyboarding curriculum as well as adaptive keyboarding. They get back to the path this way. Some older students might not like to have to use the learning path like this and have to use this arrow to proceed down the path. So students of any age have the ability to toggle between the path and a list view, and they can go back So I'll go ahead and go back, but in this list view, they can see what lesson they're on. Now, this is a 4 sequence, and I do want to point out that, and I told you that they can, they have to finish one assignment before they go on. Well, this is a demo class, and I imported scores that these students may have done in another class. So it's going to look like they were able to skip around. One of my demo students will look like they were skipping around, but they weren't. Most in all cases, other cases, students will need to complete all of their assignments in order. And when they're ready to log out, they would just log out here. Now I'm going to show you, that was a 7th grade student, a 7th grade learning path. And it's like every student has access right now. If they're in, even if they have teachers that have, they're in teachers' classes, but those teachers have not manually assigned content to those classes, then this is what they see. It immediately be taken to their Techquest learning path as soon as they log in. So now I'm going to show you what a 4th grade student would look like. First of all, let me go back to the path. So this 4th grade student, this is Techquest for the 4th grade. Now, this is what I meant. It looks like the student was able to skip around, but that's not the case. In our demo classes, we assign content into classes, and then I import scores, and that's something you can do as well. If a student comes from another class into your class and they say, I've already done that activity, you can import their scores, and it will show, yes, that they have already done that activity in another class. But this is a 4th grade sequence. And so I'm just going to go ahead and this is an introduction video, and it's simply a video that the students are going to watch. And I know that because in the bottom left-hand corner, it says 1 out of 1. So this is an introduction video. I won't take the time right now to play it. I will show you how you can see these in the library. But that's an introduction video. And as they, oops, let me Control-Alt-T because I just closed out my. So I'm going to go back. Sometimes you have to go back because I wasn't at the close part. So there's different types of activities. Some are vocabulary activities, some are introduction videos, some are instructional videos. We have keyboarding lessons in here. So this is a 4th grader. So there are some keyboarding lessons. There are right here, starting right here. So there's some keyboarding lessons. I'll slip over to the list view because it's easier for me to show you, but we do have keyboarding built into these sequences. We have lots of online safety assignments in these sequences. We have software and hardware fundamentals. You'll see that we have more on online safety and netiquette. There's just a number of different kinds of lessons that are comprehensive in nature that the students have access without the teacher ever having to have to sign anything. Now, one thing I want to point out is this is an example of a class where the students do have access to Techquest, but their teacher may decide to go ahead and assign work to that class. And in that case, you'll now see let me move this out of the way. You'll now see a classes button up here. And so in that case, when a teacher actually manually assigns content to their class, then that classes button shows up. Techquest is still available, but there's also another class that those students are enrolled in. And so they could pick and choose which one they're going to do. And that is something to consider if you decide to assign content, because if they only work in Techquest, and this particular one's keyboarding, there are keyboarding lessons in Techquest. So if you assign those and some additional lessons to another class, then you might want to import grades from Techquest into there. So I'm just going to stay in Techquest right here and just reiterate that this is a forced sequence class. Students cannot skip around, even though it appears that this student has skipped around. That is not the case. Okay, so if you have any questions about the student view, please feel free to put them in the chat. At that point, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that, minimize this 7th grade. And that was my little demonstration of the student experience. Again, I'm going to show you how you can see what those lessons are in the library in just a few minutes. The student experience, I showed you the middle school interface, that is the arcade. I showed you the park setting that the grades 3 through 5 will experience. And then our pre-K to 2, their learning paths are in a forest, and the avatars are some cute furry little animals that they can choose from. So we have the 3 different learning experiences, and they are grade level based. So if they are a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade student, they will see this, or even above. They will see this background. This is the background for 3 through 5 and pre-K through 2. This is the list view that I showed you that they can go to. A lot of times the the middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, they don't want to see that path anymore. And so there is a way that, I mean, they can actually see it this way if they prefer, and a lot of times they will. In the arcade, I did not show you a primary student login, but in their arcade at the primary level, they do have some games, some keyboarding games, and games that they can revisit over and over and over throughout the year. There's a variety, they go everywhere from easy, medium, and hard levels in these games, and it gives those early elementary kids an opportunity to practice their mouse skills, their keyboarding skills in a really fun and entertaining, engaging way. So that's the primary example of the arcade. In the middle school, intermediate and middle school grades, then their arcade is going to give them access to the adaptive keyboarding program that we have. And they can revisit it there rather than try to find it on their learning path. The teachers, I think you're going to find this very easy to manage. After all, you've already started. The students have access to their curriculum without you even having had to assign it. So at this point, I am going to go on and I'm going to go in live, and then I'll come back to this and review what I've showed you in live. So right now I am I'm in my teacher center, and this is a class that I'm in. I chose it from when I was in my classes. I was in my classes list right here. And yours will look like that. You'll have one school and you'll have your classes already assigned to you. But for this class, I went ahead and chose this example right here. Actually, it's this one right here. And in this example, I have not made any assignments. It's telling me, you know, if I want to, I can go to the library and I can assign content to the students. And once I do, then this class will have a grade book and everything. But we're not going to be doing this. We're going to assume that you're going to use Techquest this year, and you're not going to bother with assigning any content yourself. So with that said, we need to go up to the top and click, and you'll see there's several buttons here. We're going to go up to the Techquest button at the top. So when I go to Techquest, you're going to see, and I am an administrator in this district, so you may see everything. You may not see as many students that I see, but in yours, but right now I'm just looking at this. I'm in the Techquest grade book, but this particular class consists of 4th graders and 5th graders. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose the class I want to look at. And actually I have to go over here to this particular school. And then I'm going to choose the class, which is my 2024 Techquest grades 4-5 class. And I had 4th graders and 5th graders in this class. Right now, it's showing me only the 4th graders. So when you have a mixed class, you will need to use the drop-down arrow to see the other grade levels that are in that particular class. So these are the 5th grade students that are in that class. And you'll see some of them have been working. Some of them have just done the first one. and the class averages are shown at the bottom. Like I said, this does look like the student skipped these items, but they did not skip them. I imported those grades from another source. So now I'm going to go back to my 4th grade because there are more grades in here, and I'm just going to show you how you can see and monitor student progress on this path. Okay, so the first assignment in that 4th grade lesson, or the 4th grade tech, this is a 4th grade student. So the student's 4th grade learning path started out with a pre-test for online safety. And the pre-test is our pre-test and our post-test are called skills checks. And they are assigned at the beginning of a unit. They are 15 questions that students are going to try to answer. We don't expect them to ace them because they're pre-test. And then when they have a post-test later on, we expect to see some kind of growth. So these students received percentage grades automatically. Now, this student obviously did not turned in the assignment and missed every one of them. So you'll notice there's nothing I can do. And one of the disadvantages of Techquest over assigning content yourself is that you cannot see why this student made a 0. When you assign content yourself, it is possible to see students' work and see how, why they made a 0. The next one was an introduction video. They all watched this video for 3 or 4 minutes. They got got a grade, they get 100%. The only thing they needed to do for that is just watch it. The next item was a vocabulary video, which is introducing vocabulary to the students. We'll look at that in more detail in the library. Then we had a vocabulary matching game, and we had another cyberbullying the imposter. It's another assignment on cyberbullying. So you'll see that all of their grades are automatically assigned. I didn't have to do anything. Students logged in, they went to the Techquest path, and they started working. And as they finish an assignment, that grade comes into my gradebook. The students tab right here is the list of all the students, 4th and 5th. Actually, this particular class, actually, I need this. No, this is all the students. So I can, if I wanted to, I can't really enroll, I can create, but all of the students in my class, these are all like the entire school. If I wanted to look at only the students in my class, then I would click on this class. And if at some point you decide that you don't want your students to do Techquest anymore because you want the advantage of having access to more ability, a better, greater ability to monitor their progress, see what they did, then you could actually turn off Techquest, and you do that just by, you can select all and turn it off, or you can turn them off individually this way per class. When you turn off Techquest for your students, if another teacher wants them to be in Techquest and they're in her class too, they will not be able to see Techquest anywhere across the school. So just be mindful of that. So this is our student tab. You can choose which class you want to see and turn off Techquest, and they will not even see it on their learning path. But don't turn it off if you have not created assignments for them already, because then they will have nothing at all to work on. Then there's a FAQ tab over here, and this is really important because it's going to tell you more information about what Techquest is, that it delivers essential knowledge skills. It's comprehensive, but it's those essential skills that they need to know without the teacher making the assignments themselves. They're going to see, just as soon as they log in, they're going to select an avatar and go directly to their path. The topics that are covered in Techquest will be the online safety and digital citizenship, the keyboarding, the IT fundamentals, business applications, computer science, multimedia. The high school Techquest sequence only addresses keyboarding, online safety, and computer science. So even though we do have it, it's limited at the high school level because they don't need some of these other things that are at the lower levels. All right, this says, what if I have classes already set up? So in that case, it's no problem. If you already have your classes set up, you just filter those classes out like I showed you your filtering in the Techquest gradebook. All right, so this one is one of the things that is a drawback to Techquest. In the Teacher Center, the Techquest dashboard that I showed you just a minute, it has a top menu bar, and you can see individual assignments. You can see, you can excuse the students from an assignment if they're having difficulty with it, but all you see is a grade and the ability to excuse. You aren't able to go and look at scores. Can you rearrange and remove the sequence? No, it is set. The only thing that you are able to do is to excuse a student from an assignment. You can't delete any assignments from the Techquest path. You cannot rearrange them. So if you want to be able to rearrange a sequence, then Techquest is not for you. If you want any content that you would need to be teaching yourself, Techquest isn't for you because it's all student driven. You cannot set a minimum score. The minimum score in Techquest is 0. So really, in essence, if there's an assignment where they're going to have to perform some task, regardless of how well they do, they'll still be able to go on to the next lesson. And you are not able to set that Techquest sequence to open. It's automatically set at forced, and it will stay at forced. And you also are unable to reset so that a student can go back. Now they can go back on most things. They will not be able to go back on the pre-test and post-test, but you do not have the ability through a dashboard to reopen an item for a student. Again, we've already talked about the minimum score. You cannot set that. So all of these, you can excuse assignments right here. You can click on an assignment. Let me show you that very quickly. Let me go back to the, I'll show you that in just a second. And there is a Techquest report that you can see, and you can import students' grades from Techquest into your class gradebook. So if you decide that you, halfway through the year, if you decide it's better for you to assign curriculum to your students, and some of that curriculum they had already completed in Techquest, you would be able to import those grades so they would not have to do it twice. Now with that, I'm going to go back to the grade book and just show you that with students, let me go ahead and go to my class. I want this class right here. So with students, you can click on a grade. Let's say that for some reason, maybe his computer was not working, or summary, I don't know why. Or this is a vocabulary. Maybe this student is a special needs student, and that was above their head, and they just could not answer those. So you can actually excuse a student. You can delete a grade so that they can go on, but you can excuse a student from completing any assignment. And once you excuse it, they can go on and to the next assignment. So let me go back, and you do have some reports that are available. So over here in the reports tab, I can go to reports, and one of the reports that we have available is oh no, I need to be on Techquest. I'm going to have to show you that later. There is a Techquest report, but I'll have to find it because it is not showing up for me right now. It looks like this. I was able to get this. So this is the report. This possibly might be a district report, but this report is going to give the student grade, the name, the student grade, the percentage of completed items. So this student's only 18% down the path, And then where there's a student here that's already completed the entire Techquest path. So this report will also give you the average number of stars that the students achieved at each one. They also can go back and they can get stars. If they only get 1 star on assignment, they can go back and they can do it again and try to get 3 stars. So this is the sample report right here. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation just briefly. And we saw the grade book right here. I showed you that if you do have multiple grades in a class, you would need to choose those grades here. You can choose the class. You can export your grade book to a CSV file if you need to for grades. You can import grades and you can view as a student. I did not show you that, so let me just go ahead and show you that. So the button, I think they've made some changes. I think I cannot see that. I am going to show you in the library, though, what you can see, what the students see. All right, so we're going to go on. And yeah, that's why I didn't share that, because it's no longer on that screen. We don't have that view as a student any longer. You can bulk assign grades if you would like with the score all button right here. You can delete grades for multiple students at one time. And then I showed you how you can turn Techquest on and off for multiple students at a time if you want to, or for an entire class or an individual student. Now, your district does have the option of turning Techquest off. So if you're not seeing Techquest when you first log in and you don't see a Techquest gradebook up there, then it's possible that your district did go ahead and turn it off at your schools, made a decision to do that. But I'm assuming right now, since they wanted Techquest session today, that it is still available to you. We went through that, looked at the FAQ tab, at all the answers to questions that you might have. And then these are different ways that you can use Techquest. So if you're a classroom teacher, you could, use it 2 to 3 times a week for 15 or 20 minutes at a time as a bell ringer. The adaptive keyboarding practice part of it, they can use it anytime just by going to the arcade if they're grades 3 and up. You can use it in class centers. If you're an elementary teacher or primary teacher, you may have centers in your classroom, and it can be a part of the centers. You can provide that additional arcade time anytime you want. You can have the students try to earn those 3 stars. If they don't earn but 1 or 2 stars, encourage them to go back and get 3 stars. And then the students have access to this 24/7. As soon as your students know their logins into their portal, whether you use ClassLink or Clever, I'm not sure which. As soon as they do it, I have had districts where at the beginning, after school started, I have, even before teachers knew about Techquest, we had students, in their portal, they saw the learning.com, they clicked on it, and they immediately were given that Techquest path. And some students started working in it, before school ever started, or they may enjoy it so much that they go and work in it at night. So you might find some students just working ahead very quickly. I did have a teacher the other day that told me she had a student that completed an entire semester's worth of work within the first 2 weeks of school. The Techquest report I showed you, but under reports, and this has, there's a student detail report, I see a SIPA compliance report in these, and there it is. They did change it on me. So let me go back and show you. So in here on the reports tab, even though one of these reports does not say Techquest, you can get a class usage summary report, and then the school name will be your school, and that's mine, and the class name is going to be Techquest. So there will be a Techquest, not for that report. Let me see. I want to do let me look. They've changed things up recently. We update all the time. And so want to make sure it is the SIPA compliance report. So it's the SIPA compliance report right here, and my SBROAD Academy, and then the class is going to be Techquest right there. So you can get a report for, I'll just say for grade 4, and get the report. And this is the Techquest SIPA compliant course report. This is the report that is available at the teacher level. That other report I showed you is at the district level. So we're going to look at this report, and I'm not going to convert it right now, but you can see that there are assignments here, and of course, this student has not done anything. These students have not done anything this year, but when they have done these assignments, these N's will turn to Y's for yes. And once they do, and when everyone has yeses, then you know that your school has met the SIPA compliance for that grade level. Okay, let me go back here. The district coordinator can disable, like I said, can disable Techquest for a school. And that report that I gave you, just showed you first, was the district level Techquest report. And that's, whoops. And that's the one I showed you where it has the student grade and their percentage of completion. So again, this first report that I showed you is what the district can pull from the district coordinator page. They can actually pull this report. So this is the Techquest report for the district, and then the SIPA report is pulled by the teachers at the class level. Now, the district can also pull a SIPA report as well, but the report that's available for teachers is the SIPA report. Let's go on. So beyond Techquest, what can you do? If a student does finish Techquest, if your class has finished Techquest, there are still many items that you can assign. We have learning paths that I'm going to show you in the library in just a minute, where students are, where you can assign this learning path. Many of those Techquest assignments that they worked on, you can import those grades to their learning path, and they won't have to repeat them. We also have content tiles, which I'm going to show you. We have a lot of teacher facilitated items in our library, like projects, inquiry projects, discussions. We have a lot of common sense education lessons, if you're familiar with those. So when I show you the library, you don't just look at the assignments that are in a Techquest sequence. Also look at the multitude of items that we have available for you throughout our library. So on the first day, we do have access to the online training center, and there is a course, a module in the online training center, which I'll show you, that is the Techquest Quick Start. And in that module, you'll be able to find a login poster, and you'll be able to find a video that you can show to your students, bookmark it, you can show it to your students so that they will know what to expect when they log in or what your expectations are. Oops, same page. All right, then I'm going to pop into my live view in just a minute and show you how you can keep up to date with our updates blog. We also have access to our online training center and curriculum resources through a blue button in the bottom right-hand corner, which I'll show you. That is our Knowledge Hub, and that's what this is right here. And then we also have easy access to the online training center from the top menu buttons, where you will find self-paced learning courses, how-to videos, interactive practices. You can download resources from there, and you can also get a certificate of completion if you would like from doing any of those modules, the courses in those modules. All right, so at this point, I think what I'm going to do is go back into live real quick. So I'm in my, I'm right now, I'm in the reports. I'm on, let's just say I'm on Techquest still, but at anywhere that you're at in our student and our teacher interface, we have this button at the bottom, which I showed you. I'm going to move it around so you see it more easily. But this button will take you to the updates blog. It will take you to our support site, getting started coordinator panel. But that's mainly the updates blog and the support site you can get access to right here. This will also show you if there's any new items that they have put in. So this is for the coordinators right here. I'm going to close that and let's go up to the top. I showed you, let me get this out of the way. I showed you the Techquest button. The online training center is right here. And you can go to the online training center. It's going to ask you to log in. You need to, well, you will already be logged in, but I'm in this district, in my district, and sometimes I have to go back. It logs me out all the time. But I'm in, and it's going to take me to the my online training center. We have a lot of self-paced learning here. The one I was talking to you about is the Techquest Easy Text Quick Start. So it's one course. It only takes a half hour. You can watch it at night, watching Netflix, go through it. It's just going to give you these modules are going to give you all of this information on the student experience, the Teacher Center homepage, the teacher management, Techquest reports, the first day, all of this information in case I went too fast or you came in late. So you can go and look at that. And in this one right here, where it says the first day, if you'll click on the first day, that's where you're going to find that video that you can bookmark right here, the video link to the student-facing video that you could show to your students beforehand, before they ever go in, so that they everyone understands what to do in Techquest. All right, back on the, I'm going to go back to the, try and get back to self-paced learning. All right, so again, that was self-paced learning. Then you can go over to curriculum resources. And here, I want to show you that in these curriculum resources, we have spreadsheets that describe all of our learning paths, the blended learning path, the student-driven learning path, and Techquest. You can see this right here. If I open this up, you're going to see that Techquest and the student-driven learning path are exactly the same assignments for any grade level. So you can just go in by your grade level and you can see what the students will see, what assignments are in that Techquest sequence. Now, you cannot go into the library. There's no way that you can click just on Techquest and see the library. This is what we're showing you that is included in Techquest. However, I'm going to show you in the library in just a minute where you can go into that student-driven learning path and you can try out all of the different lessons in there, which are the exact same lessons that are in Techquest. The advantage of being a teacher that would assign that path to the students is you have access to so much more robust student monitoring in it rather than in the Techquest gradebook. You can do so much more with the class gradebook than you can with the Techquest gradebook. But this tells you this shows you all of the lessons that are in our Techquest and our student-driven learning path. There are some items that are SIPA compliant and they are marked with an asterisk. So you can go through and say, when the students do this first activity, cyberbullying, the quack attack in 5th grade, that one is SIPA compliant. The digital citizenship, been there, done there, is SIPA compliant, and there are others down the way. But usually by the time they've done the first two, they will show as SIPA compliant with a Y for yes. All right, so back on these curriculum resources, there are other spreadsheets that you can look at if you want to start comparing the content in those different learning paths. So I'm going to go back to the Teacher Center right here. And one more thing, go back to the Online Training Center. And up at the top, there is the updates blog. So you have access to the updates blog right here as well. And it's just a good idea to go back and check it every once in a while because right now they're working on a lot of updates. And if you've been using learning.com before in the past, then check it out because they update all the time and they will give you links and good information about any update that they have recently made. And you can go back and just go through these update blogs months and months and months past and search. You can also search the updates blog if you would like for anything on Techquest, for instance. You can do that. You can search it and find any information in the updates blog that regarded Techquest. So now I'm back in my Teacher Center and I want to go to the library. This is where, even though you're not going to assign Techquest to your students, even though the students already have these assignments, you may want to look at what items and try out the items that your students are going to be doing. So I'm going to go to the library right here. And I'm going to choose a learning path. So right now we have, and I'll just go ahead and go grade 4. We have 3 different learning paths. Actually, in mine, there is another learning path that you will not see because this is my demo district. But you will see the Texas Blended Learning Path. That's our most comprehensive learning path that includes student-driven activities as well as teacher-led activities where the teacher actually uses PowerPoint presentations that have already been created in order to lead discussions. They can also grade projects using this path. The Essentials Blended Learning Path is the same thing. Both of these will cover 100% of the TA TEKS, but the Essentials Blended Learning Path is different because since it's Essentials, it does not include the productivity tools like word processing, spreadsheets, presentations. It doesn't include some items on the software and hardware. So there's some things that are not included. You will cover 100% of the TA TEKS with this, but there are additional lessons that I think are still essential, but they're not necessary in order to meet all of the 100% of the TEKS. This student-driven learning path, remember, it is the same learning path as Techquest. So if you want to go in and explore the types of items, the types of content that are in Techquest, then choose the Easy Tech student-driven learning path. When I choose that for this grade level 4, and I click Let's Go, this is the exact sequence that is in the 4th grade Techquest path. But now, because I am exploring the library and the student-driven learning path, I can actually go into the library and I can click on these items right here. They're all student-driven. So you can use this view arrow right here and you can view any of these items. So if you want to see what this sorting vocabulary looks like, this practice, then you can click it. It's going to open up in a new tab and it's going to come up looking like this because in the student-driven path, teachers have the ability to monitor students in a deeper way than they can if you only assign through Techquest. So right now, we're only using these assignments to see what the students are going to be doing. Don't worry about this. Come over in the upper right-hand corner, click on the student preview button, and this is the assignment that the students will see. It's a vocabulary practice. They will start it, and then it's going to give them some directions. They do have audio support, so they can
footprint. Drag the word cards to the correct category. Examples or non-examples of a digital footprint.
So they can
drag the examples to the left and the non-examples to the right.
All right, so they have audio support here. So they're going to be clicking and dragging. So a photo of your vacation that you posted online, would that be an example of a digital footprint? So they're learning about digital footprints. And so, yes, if they posted it online, it's part of their digital footprint. If they go shopping, no, that is not part of their digital footprint unless they're shopping online. Helping a friend with their homework, that is not an example of a digital footprint. Leaving a comment on a friend's social media post, yes, that is. And so anyway, there are 7 different pages of questions for these students to answer in this. And then when they're through with all 7, they turn them in, and they must finish them to turn them in, and then they will be automatically graded. So remember, if you're the reason why we are in this student-driven learning path is just to give you the ability to look at the assignments, the same sequence that is available in Techquest. But remember that in Techquest, the only thing the students will have an activity that they do on their own, that you're not going to have to do anything to teach it or anything. So when you see something that does have a dashboard attached to it, I think I looked at this one right here. If you see something that has a dashboard attached to it, don't worry about that. Just go up to the student preview, and then you'll see what the student sees on their Techquest path. So let me look at the chat and see if anyone has any questions so far. Going back up and seeing. All right, I'm not seeing. If you have any questions about that and what I just showed you in the library, would you let me know? And we may actually get out of here just a few minutes early, but let me go on and see what I've got going on in the presentation. So we looked at the online training center and the options you have there, the curriculum maps we looked at. I showed you this where you could go to support, but I'm going to show you now how you can create a support button, get in touch with support very easily. I really like our support team. They are available all the time, and they're on Pacific time, but you can go up to support right up here. And on our support page, this is like if you're in class and something happens and you need, or maybe you're trying something out before class comes in, you can get on support with a chat, usually within a minute or 2, and they can give you some information. If it's not needed right away, you can just ask a question, or you can contact them via email. So you can, just create an email and contact them and submit that, and they will get back to you as quickly as possible, probably by the end of the day or the next day. You will hear from them. But if you need immediate assistance from our support team, in the bottom right-hand corner is a orange circle, looks like a chat. So you're going to click on that, and you can initiate a chat. So Ollie's answering first, but you can click this chat with support, and then you can type your message, and it's going to ask you some questions, and they'll contact you with our support. And usually our support team will get back with you within a minute or 2 and do what they can to help you out right then. They're going to ask you for your district, for the class name you're working in, for your username, and they'll be able to help you. So I'll go ahead and get out of that. So right now, before we leave, does anybody have any questions at all? All right, I'm not seeing any. Okay, so I'm going to go on, and I believe that's it. So with that, we are just a few minutes ahead of time. So I'll stick around if anybody does have a question, and for a minute or 2. So I hope that you have a great next session, and that you've had good staff development all day. And I just want to tell you again, I appreciate your coming and being a part of this session today.